Have you ever encountered various amazing phenomena which was almost impossible to explain for a while? We're sure that you have. In this episode, get ready to witness the most incredible and sometimes inexplicable places, natural and other phenomena, the nature of which does not seem obvious. The owner of this furniture clearly loves horror movies. A ferromagnetic liquid is an amazing substance that becomes alive under the influence of a magnetic field. It instantly forms bizarre shapes, literally coming to life before our eyes. This is an interesting example of the phenomenon of pareidolia. The coloring of the flowers looks like they have faces, but in fact, it is just an optical illusion and an incredible coincidence. Just look at what happens if you melt a lava stone through a magnifying glass. Insects are the best meteorologists. For example, this colony of ants began migrating a couple of days before the impending typhoon in Vietnam. Here's another proof that we're living in a simulation. It's hard to say what kind of monster it is, but you definitely don't want to touch it. This is how the apocalypse begins in dreams. Do you think there are endless expanses of space above us? This video will make you doubt it. Not all stones can fall to the bottom. For example, volcanic pumice is a rock whose density allows it to stay on the water. You never know what kind of surprise awaits you in the sand on the beach. The Amazon is the longest river in the world, and it's full of the most creepy monsters. It obviously came here from another planet. We thought dinosaurs died out millions of years ago, but now it's hard to believe in it. Does a helicopter really not need blades in flight at all? In fact, this is explained by the fact that the speed of the blades coincides with the frame rate. Just look at how some dishes are prepared in Japan. It looks like the antlers have grown a deer on themselves and not the other way around. It's cute, isn't it? Now imagine meeting it in a dark alley. Sometimes, scientists prematurely consider some species extinct. For example, a resident of China discovered a large ancient salamander right in his yard. It looks creepy, doesn't it? This happens when lightning strikes a tree. In case you decide to go into the jungle alone, take a look at who you might meet there. The guys did not find the most comfortable place for dinner, but the main question was how they could stay underwater. Sometimes the power line can perform a show that will be cooler than any fireworks. As we've already said, animals are perfectly aware of impending disasters. It's scary to think what these sheep are running from. In front of you is uranium. It is one of the most dangerous elements. Now radioactive particles are scattering from it. Such a sight is inaccessible to the naked eye, and you can only see it with a special camera. What do you think? Or who can make the sand move like that?
Тут у нас вот такая вот происходит дело. Что-то тут теплый воздух.
Just look how impressive the windmills look from above. It's hard to say who it is, but it moves so sweetly that you want to have it as a pet. In front of you is the Cave of Death, and it's unlikely that you'll be able to stay in it for more than a couple of minutes. The thing is that volcanic gas accumulates here, which displaces oxygen, making such places unsuitable for any kind of life.
What a twist! Haven't you expected to see this either, have you?
This is the disco clam, one of the brightest creatures of the ocean, and its appearance looks like a real underwater show. It's safe to say that this is the strangest mushroom we've ever seen. The next time you decide to swim in an unfamiliar lake, remember what monsters may be waiting for you there. If I see something like this at home, only a flamethrower will save me. Scientists cannot always predict and explain the invasion of insects, so some people consider them a real curse. Australia is definitely capable of changing your understanding of the insect world. For example, check out these bees that don't have stings and build such strange alien nests. Modern art can make you busy for a couple of hours. Imagine what it's like to work when you're surrounded by hordes of buzzing monsters. The guy accidentally came across a lonely tent in the middle of the forest, but more strangely, there were old missing persons notices on the trees nearby. It's creepy, isn't it? Sometimes nature can create works of art right in the sky. However, what caused the birds to move in this way remains a mystery. Now you know how to surprise your friends in the winter at the nearest lake. This is Giamana, a mysterious ghost village in Romania. Flooding and toxic waste did not leave the locals a chance to live here, but they did make it an attractive place for all tourists. Just look at how amazing it is. It's hard to say what exactly caused the fish to behave in this way, but it's definitely every fisherman's dream. Would you like to have such shelves at home? Next time, you should come here with a fishing rod. This is a new element for your wish list. Do you want to swim in water with bioluminescent plankton? This is pyrite, a mineral that may look like a treasure, but is actually worth nothing. During the gold rush, they often tried to sell it as gold, but the deception was quickly revealed. That's why it's called fool's gold. Like the video if you would like to have a similar experience. I wonder what or who is hiding under this melting ice. Someone here has clearly established a great relationship with Poseidon. Helicosalpa komai is an amazing marine creature, similar to a transparent spiral floating in the ocean. It not only glows in the dark, but also swims using contractions of its body like a real alien jellyfish. Is it the bark of a tree? No, actually, this is the nightmare of any arachnophobe who happens to be here. Can a tick really reach that size? Someone here has obviously received a letter from Hogwarts. Does anyone know what can be done in a situation where bees have completely covered your truck? Today is definitely a profitable day for the owner of the boat. Sometimes the current or disorientation in space causes fish to be thrown ashore. Considering that the world's oceans have been studied by only 5%, imagine how many more strange sea creatures lurk at a depth. It looks like this turtle has started to evolve too fast. It seems that we are seeing the smallest and most diligent artist in the world. Would you dare to try an unknown fruit that looks like this? This baby, living on the seabed, is only 1.5 centimeters in size, but it can definitely be considered the most beautiful snail in the world. Who knew that real wizards can be found in an auto repair shop? If the fireworks are moving straight up, how do you explain such a flying sphere in the sky? Even though the mechanism looks simple enough, the effect of this spectacle is truly fabulous. There is clearly someone left without electricity in this house today. This person literally breathes with his eyes underwater, and this happens because of the nasolacrimal duct, a small vessel that passes air through the eyes. Doing something with a friend together is always more fun than doing it alone. Technology has reached such a level that we can watch such unrealistic shows right on the facades of skyscrapers. It feels like this car is literally made of jelly. If just walking on stilts is difficult, then imagine how much more difficult it is to perform such tricks on them. If many people have seen earthquake recordings from land, then the footage of an earthquake underwater will definitely surprise you.
To be honest, I'm speechless after witnessing it. What about you?
The trick of changing the color of water is quite simple, but still impressive. How many more unexplored creatures can be found in the vast oceans? What an offer! You buy one egg and you get the second one as a gift. From a distance, it seems that this is an ordinary split in the wall which was filled with ants, but coming closer you can see a very detailed drawing. I would not like to be there without protection in the form of an anti-mosquito net. The owner of the house complained about annoying sounds in the house, and when the workers arrived at the place, they found a huge hive with bees under the ceiling. This is what the process of laying eggs in snails looks like. A fisherman accidentally pulled this unknown creature right out of the ocean and was very amazed by its appearance. Wow, people have discovered a caterpillar that looks exactly like a real alligator. It was very brave to go in there without a protective suit. It would seem that the usual process of cutting down trees, but wait a minute, where did the dog even come from? Sometimes nature creates incredible works of art. It's not every day you see something like this in real life. Someone has come across a very stubborn clam with a character. A true master of his craft will be able to play a symphony even in ordinary glasses with water. Does anyone know what kind of creature it is? With such a disguise, no predator will be able to find this octopus.
There are things that are absolutely impossible to believe, and how could this even happen?
After such installations, you begin to believe that a new round of technological progress is very close. It looks like this man has just invented a completely new type of transport. It would seem like an ordinary leaf, but what beauty it can create. It's scary to imagine how abnormal the heat was there. This is a very easy way to determine who is carrying sweet treats in their trunk. Now you can see the venom in real life. It may seem like it's just ice, but in fact, this water is in motion right now. At the right angle, the water flow may seem completely stationary. These strange plants are called Mexican beans. These are parts of the pods of a plant that is infected with larvae, which gives the impression that they bounce on their own. Who dared to disturb such an important and large-scale toad meeting? This coconut crab is the largest terrestrial arthropod capable of smashing whole coconuts with its powerful claws. It lives on tropical islands and can grow up to 1 meter in length. Have you ever seen such unusual insects? Oh no, these are not fallen leaves at all, but a whole bunch of caterpillars around the tree. You can watch these magical shots forever. What seems more incredible is not even the size of this car, but how it moves without wheels. Seeing this in reality, you can immediately start believing in magic because it looks truly magical. This is an amazing video from the scene of an emergency whale rescue. Sea urchins not only move along the bottom with the help of tiny legs, but also defend themselves from enemies with their sharp needles. Some of them are even a little poisonous, so it's better not to touch them. The creators of this attraction have a lot of creativity. Even dogs are afraid of a cat with such a stern expression on his face. These thousands of sardines have simply overflowed the river and are jumping straight onto dry land. He is so fast that catching him on video is a real miracle. It is not known how this tree grew like this, but in any case, it looks impressive. They turn out to have quite sharp hearing. Probably nature will never cease to amaze us with such extraordinary creatures. Take a look at these strange creatures, like shadows roaming the window. Only the light of lightning makes it clear that the window of the author of the video has turned into a temporary shelter for bats. Dangerous caves are fraught with many mysteries. Flowstones are one of them. Over the years, water flows in caves, stalactites, and stalagmites grow, the shape and appearance of which are simply fascinating. This creepy-looking entity that looks like something alien or deep is just a worm. You wouldn't wish such a guest in the house even for your worst enemy. The shell of a scorpion consists, among other things, of a liquid that absorbs ultraviolet rays, which is why scorpions can briefly take on a different color. Some clay plates are so fragile that they can literally break at a single touch. This area in China seems to have experienced an amazing drought, which makes it easy for even a person to get into the crack. I wouldn't want to accidentally drop my phone there. This bee drops propolis right on the foot of the author of the video. They usually do this in the hive or in flight, and in such situations, it can be evidence of the imminent death of a bee. Such a creepy face that looks like a dead animal is something that you definitely don't want to meet on the beach, but in fact, it is a fish and it does not die, but is just engaged in one of the main processes of hunting while using sand as its cover. One click of the lighter surprisingly changed the state of the water. You need to notice that the fire lingers over the water. It looks like it's all about acids or hot springs. The girl in the video is a real master of this weightless ball. It's hard to say whether it's a trick or a skill, but the reflections on the ball are suspicious.
If you haven't liked this episode yet, now is the best time to do it.
The poor elk with the twisted horn suffered from a genetic mutation that greatly complicated its life. After the rain, unknown stones sprouted from the road, cracking the asphalt. What caused this event is not known for certain. Disguised as driftwood, this mysterious potu bird has an amazing camouflage skill. One of the amazing representatives of the fauna of deep water is the tripod fish. It is able to stand on its thin legs for a very long time until finally it goes to get food. The liquid runs around the pan in the shape of a perfect circle. This amazing phenomenon is explained by the fact that a layer of steam is formed between the water and the incandescent surface, which practically nullifies the friction of water. This creepy bush in the video is also a representative of the deep sea. Surprisingly, this is a living creature from the family of sea lilies. These creatures are able to move and carry toxins on themselves for self-defense, but they will scare away many by their very appearance. A moray eel might not be more dangerous than a shark, but it is clearly much scarier. Some people are clearly overdoing it with tattoos, and this is a good example. It takes a while to even realize that this is a human torso. The strange plant resembles both a mushroom and a flower and looks very frightening. Obviously, this is not the best find in the yard. Judging by the gathered insects, in addition to the species, this one also has a special smell. This stick insect seems to be warming up or dancing right on someone's arm. The whole block was flooded with either wine or jelly. Where did such red water come from? This is what the amazing Fingal Cave in Scotland looks like. In some cases, snow and ice can be extremely dangerous, as in this video, the fallen ice broke the windshield of the car. This grumbling in the sand does not come from an animal, but from carbon dioxide emissions that make the solid almost gurgle. Such a phenomenon may indicate large changes in the underground structures. This amazing phenomenon from China is not a waterfall or even sand, but rolling snow, powdered enough to resemble streams of sand or flour. As we already know, marine fauna is full of crazy surprises. This is a fish, and it once again proves the strangeness of the laws of deep water. The worms that completely fill this puddle in the forest are mosquito larvae, and soon they will turn into a swarm of bloodsuckers. The snail vividly demonstrates not only sickness, but also the exceptional flexibility of its body, stretching almost twice. These are air rings that keep at the same level. Any person can do the same after some practice. In one of the reserves of southern England, one can find this ribbed tree. Its strange appearance is explained by the fact that for many years, tourists inserted coins into it for good luck. It may seem that this is the nesting place of some large animal or fish, but in fact, these balls are made up of ice and buried under a layer of the same. It happens on a frozen river. This is a well-studied phenomenon that occurs under certain weather conditions. It is something like a snake, but at the same time, it does not look like it at all. Anyway, it is better not to face such a thing. If your hair is electrified, which throws it into the air, then it's better to run. Most likely you are within the radius of a lightning strike. But since it happens in the city, the reason is different. The girl is standing outside the restaurant and her hair is affected by the static electricity from the air extraction system. Something vibrating from the touch of the author of this video resembles both mushrooms and snails, but it looks more like an exotic kind of mushroom. What do you think? Share your opinion in the comments. What a truly amazing sight. Unknown insects filled the whole road. Probably these are the effects of the rain. This is a sea cucumber, and in case of tension, it releases a protective sticky liquid, which upon contact with seawater, spreads and can paralyze the attacker. Travelers in the forest came across a large tree with hollows, and going inside, they found an amazing thing. It was almost hollow from the inside. It is striking that it continues to stand firm despite this. If the wood is very watery, then it may be so soft in texture that it will resemble chicken meat and crumble right in your hands. A flock of boobies lands right on the water in search of new fish prey. These birds have few equals in diving. A flock of migrating birds looks like a dance of stars or projectiles flying skyward, but in fact, this effect is achieved by light reflection. This thing landed on the shore of some kind of reservoir. Most of all, it looks like some kind of sea mushroom or jellyfish. This is another example of the vitality of trees. It is held only by thin splinters and is already half dead, but the branches above are still green. It's just amazing. This is just another thing from the depths of the sea, but this time with a pattern similar to a human face. This phenomenon is called pareidolia. When it is pulled out of the water, the dark octopus suddenly loses its color and becomes transparent. Climbing to the side of the aquarium, the fish began to spit water. This is not a defense mechanism. By opening its mouth, it moves its gills and thus breathes. This is what a branchiopod looks like. This is a funny representative of living relics. Having appeared more than 200 million years ago, they have hardly evolved. In particular, because the eggs of these crustaceans can wait up to 10,000 years to hatch. In seconds, a small fish turns into a spiked bubble. This is the main protective ability of blowfish, whose hard spikes prevent the possibility of being eaten by predators. A truly cute little rabbit-like creature proves that it can be found even in the depths of the seas. It is hard to even understand what it is. Most of all, the creature resembles some kind of slug or sea cucumber, but it is clear that it was brought to the rocks by accident. It is amazing that nature is rich in such organisms. This type of deep-sea shark was discovered in the 1900s. In addition to its mysterious gloom, this shark is distinguished by a triangular jaw, the upper part of which is not fixed to the face and can change its location. Such a construction accelerates the shark's attack. Liquefaction of the soil turns it into jelly, which is why it can move like a liquid. Despite the amazing effect, it is actually very dangerous and may indicate an increase in seismic vibrations. The difference in water and air temperature has turned this lake into a real garden of icy flowers.
If you want to switch to something else, don't be hurry. Something truly interesting is just about to begin.
It is truly a rare sight. This small crab flounders inside an egg-like bubble, but a person helps it and pulls it out. The African pompano is distinguished by the fact that in the fry state it has huge rays, which become smaller with age before the fish turns into a huge fish. The beach in the video is clearly not the best place to swim. The sharks lined up at the shore as if for lunch. A frightened shallow water octopus equipped with a special protective reaction splashes water on curious adventurers. It even manages to distract attention for a while. This salsa is so spicy that when it is stirred, sparks fly out of the plate. I'm really scared of someone's stomach. This is just another example of gases escaping through sand or very fast quicksand, absorbing in seconds. When liquefied, the earth seems to resemble jelly, cake, or tiramisu. It's even difficult to dig up. There are various finds on the rocky coasts, including transparent worms. The operator made a very strange catch. The fish either twisted in an attempt to breathe or suffered from a genetic mutation. Anyway, the grimace is not very pleasant. In such a way, the water flow is deformed by the effect of a 24 Hz sound wave. It's hard to even imagine how many of them are gathered here. Finally, we have another stick insect who made its way into the house under the guise of a branch, and being uncovered, began to dance even without music. This is an underwater taxi in all its glory.
It was so cool! It's hard to comprehend how this is even possible.
Is someone trying to break out of the ground? This is the place where two worlds intersect. What happened to this river when it turned bright red? If someone tells you that there are no mouse trains, feel free to show this video in response. I looked at it and realized that I was looking into the face of another mine. The ocean is not only a world of amazing creatures and mysteries, but also a place where truly creepy and frightening moments can occur. At depths where sunlight does not penetrate, unknown creatures, huge predators, and dangerous currents that can arise suddenly are hiding. In the dark and cold waters of Loch Ness, deep among the gloomy underwater gorges, this mysterious creature supposedly hides. The first mentions of the mysterious inhabitant of the lake go back to the distant past, but every decade the story of the Loch Ness monster becomes more and more mystical. Vague silhouettes on the surface of the water, strange noises from the depths, and rare photos taken from afar only enhance the feeling that something inexplicable is hiding in the gloomy waters of Loch Ness. They have found the reason why it is not worth walking alone in the forest.